I'll let you give us your sniffing notes first.
Well, I think this is a full-on dark roast, not a ultra dark roast, not a French roast, but a full-on dark roast. And
Yeah, it's clearly.
you see the nuance of the coffee is not present really in its complexity, but there's you get a nice chocolatey
Yeah.
sweetness with a kind of a crisp, slightly charred. But charred is such an overstated word. I mean, there's a slight little, I don't know what, we never know what to call it. You can't call it barbecue because then you're implying spices.
Yeah.
But a kind of a little crisp, charred and nice chocolate, good sweetness. It's pretty fresh fruit. It's not quite raisin. So now we can taste it. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
I think so.
Well, you have a very confident, pronounced dark roast here. There's no holding back, but on the other hand, it hasn't been pushed too far. I like to talk about the structure of the coffee as well as the aromatic flavor notes. And the structure is you notice how it's sweet in front, and then as you swallow it, you get bitter sweetness. And then in the finish, you get astringency, the puckering or drying on the palate, which is a important part of coffee. From my point of view, if you notice it, it's not good. It should just be heard, felt but not heard, as it were. So, so the coffee transforms. For me, it's very pleasant, chocolatey and sweet in front, and then as I swallow it and then observe the aftertaste, I don't like the aftertaste at all. In fact, I think in what we call the long finish, it's a little unpleasant, really. For me, what do you think?
It's interesting. I almost felt like tasting it today. I'm in slow motion, and you know, in a way, it's good for me to taste with you because I really I tend to drink everything I drink. As you may have found out, I drink fast. I'm used to kind of, and I don't think that's. I'm not bragging about it. I don't drink slow enough, and I don't eat slow enough. So I really is a nice discipline for me. I really liked the taste when I first tasted it. I'm like, oh yeah, I really enjoy this coffee, and I know what it is. And yes, I've already identified it as a dark roast. I did that by sniffing it. But then I said, oh, this really tastes good on the tongue. But then, you're right, when it went down the rest of the way, all of a sudden I get this, oh, wow.
The people who like what they call strong coffee. I mean, coffee can be strong in a lot of different ways. You can be stronger because it put more coffee in than in the water. So, or you can, it can be strong in the sense that people use it for roast. It's a kind of a bracing astringency. They sort of like that astringency. It makes you feel powerful, I guess. I don't know, like I'm not sure what an analogy would be, but wind in your face when you're go to the beach, and there's a kind of a fresh, brisk breeze coming at you. I mean, that's the best I can do right now. But I mean, I know that I know that feeling. It's just not my kind of feeling, I guess. Maybe I'm just a real comfort freak, you know. I just
You mean you don't enjoy unpleasant sensations? Yeah,
no, that's
I'm kind of
not.
old-fashioned.
It's not unpleasant.
It's not unpleasant.
It's not.
The going in isn't.
Yeah, no, the going in is very pleasant, but it's the bracing aftertaste.
Yes, the aftertaste I could do with less.
Yeah. So now, of course, most people who drink a coffee like this is probably, this is a full-on dark roast. I don't know whose dark roast it is. I couldn't really I would hazard a guess is that it's not a very bright or acidy coffee to start with, the green beans, because with coffees like that, they're even more assertive with the bitterness. The acidity turns bitter, and it's more pronounced than in this coffee. So I don't know what it would be, a lower elevation coffee. I'd just guess wildly saying that Brazil or Sumatra or some lower acid, but that's not the point, really. I mean, the point is really with a dark roast, the role of the bean is to best show the roast in some ways. You choose beans, I think, for dark roasts so that they come out well as dark roasts.
Yes.
If you really value what the bean brings intrinsically, then dark roast is not the roast for that purpose.
Right. Right.
Where on the other hand, you know, some beans make beautiful dark roasts, probably far better dark roasts than others. They're chocolatier, they're sweeter. They may add some little nuance. We'll probably taste some later, because I assume you have some lighter dark roasts than this.
Yeah.
This straight on dark roast. This to me is a straight on dark roast. This is what it says. This is a dark roast.
Okay, and she gave me a spoon too. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Let's look at color here.
Yeah, let's see if we can match that. And
this is my. For me, the milk doesn't. The half and half. By the way, we're using half and half, folks. Folks, whoever is watching, we're using half and half, and we put in a relatively small amount of half and half, and for me, it doesn't help the coffee at all. It hurts it. The astringency in the structure is still there. The bitterness is still there. It didn't really sweeten and go chocolatey for me.
I would agree with both of those assessments. And sometimes, as I mentioned, I like cream in my coffee occasionally. But this coffee, it didn't buy frankly as much as I thought it would. I thought it would really smooth it out.
I just added more milk.
Okay, let me.
Or more half and half.
Let me match you. I'm not gonna. I've got the same budget for milk you do, so let me put some. Wow, this is getting to be.
Now it's getting.
Okay. We're. This is the old joke about, I'm having some milk and put a little coffee in it, Mom and Dad.
It's sweetening and the chocolate's coming out.
Oh, mine too.
I shouldn't even say chocolate. It's more of a caramel.
Yeah, it's
the caramel is coming out. Yeah. It's right. But I really liked it best as a black coffee, I think.
I don't know. I think I like this the best. Um, I think it's what is it? It doesn't have sugar in it. I know, but it's a Boston style.
Well, you notice though here, Kevin, with the substantial amount of half and half, that the finish is
It's
more pleasant to me.
yeah. It's the finish more than anything.
It's it takes away. You see, the milk I think mutes the whatever produces the astringency. So instead of the astringency with the straight black presentation, the astringency I think took over in the finish. Here it doesn't. I still getting caramel and some pleasant, maybe dried fruit sensations, but above all, it's sweeter
Yeah.
and less astringent in the finish now.
I
Well-
like the finish better this way. Obviously we can't have what I'm going to describe, and I like the beginning with it black. I like
Yeah,
the entrance
I agree.
with it black.
Right. And you know, I think when one talks about finish, sometimes people think that this is some kind of snobby finish is such a fancy word, and it doesn't sound like real, perhaps, or sounds a little fussy, I suppose, talking about the finish. But the finish is important because that's what we walk away with, and that's what bridges between sips. And it can, and I think really it affects mood, along with the caffeine. A good finishing coffee may lift our mood. So that's my little a kind of tribute to the finish or aftertaste.
All right, there it is, Ken.
Oh, I see the mermaid, so it must be Starbucks. I can't read Starbucks, but I do read Sumatra.
There we are.
And single origin Sumatra. Does it say anything about roast level?
It says dark roast.
Dark roast, it says. Yeah.
Dark roast.
Well, that's fair enough. It's a dark roast. That's a good term. This is definitely a dark roast. They're not
Honestly packaged.
not misrepresenting it.
honestly.
And
Yeah.
and the Sumatra, that's a low acid coffee usually.
Yeah.
And Sumatra is famous for having what people call earthy notes, which are really musty notes, to tell you the truth. And I don't really get that with this, but if I had another dark roast next to it from Costa Rica, I probably would, through contrast, be able to carry on about earth, but I don't particularly get it. Really. It could be that the Sumatra bean contributed to the astringency in the finish, though I doubt it. I think it's a nice. I don't know, that anybody could tell this was a Sumatra. Often people we can talk about the earthiness as a kind of malty taste.
Yeah, and I like that.
So let me try that on this,
Even
though it has milk
See if we've
in it.
got it. Yeah, like it's. I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Now, right. This is the tribute to association and stimulation by language. Right. I would say I'm getting something that I would call, that malty would be a fair word for.
It is like got a little bit of chocolate malt taste to it. So that's that's fine with me. I'm good with it. However, this is it is a little darker roasted than I probably like, although I don't think it's going to be the darkest roast coffee we have today.